Hi, this is Ernie. I'm that guy who had 6,000 in his checking account and now having millions of dollars. Today, I want to talk about investing, uh, mainly because a lot of people are asking, hey, how do you choose where to invest? Sorry, I'm trying to make dinner as well. A lot of people are asking, yeah, how do you choose where to invest or how to invest? Um, and while I talk about that, I also want to talk about this book. I know a lot of people have not read this. As Christian, I hate to say this, but this is the Bible of investing. I highly recommend this, as well as Warren Buffett recommends this one as well. Why? Because it actually talks about something called investor versus speculators. And I'll give you a quick summary of that particular chapter. Investors are people who spend a lot of time doing research. So, for example, I went to Nike store. I went to a playground and looked at what people are wearing. I know, like, it sounds really creepy, but I'm like, wow, everybody's wearing On, Adidas, Hoka, um, Brooks. Not that many people wearing Nikes. And this is like a wealthy part of the neighborhood, right? So all the homes are like million plus. And I'm saying to myself, wait, what's going on? Is On that significantly good? And I spoke to a couple of my friends and they're like, yeah, absolutely. So I got into On versus Nike. I had a short position because I even went to their store and it was empty. I spoke to their salespeople and they said traffic has been going really, traffic has been dying down. So when you do that type of research, you know what to buy. But not everybody has the ability to do this type of research. And not everybody has skills to do this type of research. I was a former management consultant, right, doing strategy work. So I know how to do research, but not everybody has that. For those, you have two options. Um, Listen to what people say and buy accordingly. And very often you'll realize that not everybody's right. And people talk about Jim Cramer being not right. You're supposed to do opposite of whatever Jim Cramer tells you to do. Yeah, nobody is right. No, all the time. People will be wrong. But you could still choose to listen to them if that's the route that you want to take. Or you learn how to do research. Or you say to yourself, you know what, I'm really not good at stock picking. And believe it or not, a lot of Wall Street money managers are not good at stock picking. So then you decide to invest in ETFs, right? Such thing as things like SPY, VO, or VTI, because these have been performing so much better than most fund managers that if you don't have time or if you don't know how to research, I think it is the best route for you to do. And this actually the reason why wanted to talk about the book is if you're doing value investing, I mean, it's overpriced, so I don't want to get in. And that's the situation with Warren Buffett. He ended up selling a lot of them. He said, with my cash, there's nothing for me to buy because nothing is cheap enough for him to invest. Then you will not get into a situation of where you buy things incredibly high. And then when market tanks, you're just holding back, just waiting for it to come back up, unless you learn to leverage options, right? So one, what I recommend or encourage people to do, I'm not here to recommend you to do anything. I'm encouraging you to do is either learn how to do research, find time to do research. If not, park your money in index funds. But when you feel that something is extremely undervalued because it tanked, like SOXL in my case, yeah, it might be worthwhile. And you will gradually make money putting money in index fund, but you're not going to be rich. It will take a lot of time for you to get there, but you will eventually get there, become a millionaire if you keep investing every single week, every single month. For you to be wealthy, you need to actually make a bet, a big bet, not like gambling bet, but a bet on a stock or an index fund. Um, like sector index fund where it's extremely undervalued. Like for example, oil during COVID crisis, I got 11x return on incredible amount of money. So things like that, you could make a big bet rather than just keep adding money to SPY. And how do you learn to do that? You got to look at this. You got to actually read this book. Figure out how inflation impacts investment. And it has commentaries. It's like stock market history. How do you like understand the stock market? There's a policies for investors, like how the economic and geopolitics impacts them. How do you deal with market fluctuations? A lot of them said, hey, when the leverage funds go up and down, how do you sleep at night? I used to not be able to sleep at night. But if you have an expectation that that's how the funds typically work, especially leverage funds or some individual stocks, then you say, okay, at least that's what I expected. So you'll be able to sleep at least peacefully at night. The book also talks about how to deal with recession. In my other videos, I actually talked about recession. When we have a recession, what typically performs well? Cigarette stocks, alcohol stocks. Like people, rather than eating real meat, I wouldn't say real meat, but versus like Spam, people buy more Spam. They cook more at home. So supermarkets tend to do relatively better than, and then restaurant stocks don't do well. So there are things like that you'll be able to learn by reading this book. This one is the version that has the commentary. That's why it's much thicker, but it's definitely worth it. You will be able to, I don't encourage you to buy this book, by the way. I want you to go to the library and borrow this book. For me to borrow this book, there was like a wait list for 6 weeks or 7 weeks, because almost every person who's investing, they want to learn, they want to read it. So you should try to get a copy from the library and at least read it once. I've actually read this book maybe 6 or 7 times. So I encourage you to read it so that you'll be able to understand better if you want to learn how to invest. If you want to just park money, then you don't have to read this book. Just park your money on the SPY, VO, or VTI, one of those 3 funds, and just forget about it. And don't have to even learn options if you just want to retire as a millionaire. But if you want to retire early, like I have in my 40s, that means you need to make some big bets. You need to pick some good stocks. For you to do that, you need to get a copy and read it so that you'll be able to retire early and enjoy your financial freedom. Hopefully this was useful. Hopefully some of you will go to the local library and get a copy of this book and read multiple times so that you can learn how to pick the right stocks that will perform so much higher than what SPY can do. And along the way, you can accelerate accumulation of those stocks or ETFs, leveraging options, so that you'll be able to generate tens of thousands of dollars every month so that you never have to go to work. Hopefully this was useful. Don't forget to follow, like, and repost. And for those who are interested in learning about investing, go to my watch list called Investing 101. And for those who are familiar with investing but accelerate your retirement, go to watch list called Leveraging Options, and you will thank me because I have official names of the followers. I now have officially more than 100 people who are making weekly income selling options on top of whatever investing that they are doing. All right, see ya.